What's going on, everybody? Jordan here from Attack on Anime, and gee, this chapter was so lit because it finally happened. It's finally here, and I called this from the previous chapter, and I've been saying this for the longest. Kenpachi finally gets his Bankai, and it was there, it was obvious, but it was so like obvious that like you would miss it. And Yachiro is his Bankai. It makes sense. He kind of got that Ichigo treatment, how the Bankai manifests into a human form. But it's kind of, what throws me off about Yachiro being his Bankai, it's weird because she has a Shikai herself, and that was his lieutenant. So it's like, Kenpachi at this point is so overpowered that his Zanpakuto has a Zanpakuto with the Shikai. But anyway, before we discuss that more, I want to get into like I'm just going to summarize what happened in this chapter. The Valkyrian Quincy explains his power to the captains, and he just tells them his power is called Miracle. Literally, he wins fights by getting granted miracles. Like, his power is literally the biggest example of plot armor I have ever seen in all of anime. His ability gives him form to varied thoughts, feelings, and desires of the masses. So, like, if you're unable to kill his body, if you can't destroy his body, it goes through the fear of the masses and it grows gigantic. Apparently, you can't like slash his sword in half, because if you manage to destroy his sword, all will fall into despair. Like, what kind of power is that? Like, at this point, it gets like too crazy, and you write yourself into a box. And on paper, there's no way they should be able to kill him once again. He's one of those OP Quincy's, but Kenpachi's Bankai just gave us new hope. He may be able to solo this guy. His sword, Hofnog, is apparently sheathed in the hope of masses. Like, what's up with this mass mumbo jumbo? I mean, that doesn't even matter at this point, because all we really care about is really seeing Kenpachi's Bankai. It's kind of unfortunate that Kenpachi and the Valkyrian Quincy are like on the opposite side of teams and they're trying to kill each other, because if they weren't, they would be like the perfect duo. Like, they're essentially the same person, just one's a Shinigami and one's a Quincy. They're both very powerful, very OP, and they both love a good fight. And what I like about it most is there's a mutual respect between them, because as they're fighting, Hitsugaya tries to throw like an ice attack, and the Quincy just looks at him and, stop, don't interfere in our fight, you bore me, you're not my opponent, I'm not interested in you. And Kenpachi actually blocks his attack and tells him the same thing, like, don't interfere, this is not your fight. And Hitsugaya is looking at him like, are you crazy? You can't stop this guy by yourself. And Byakuya just told him like, look, it's Kenpachi. Like, he's the poster child for things of no reason. Like, just let him you just gotta let him be Kenpachi. And that's the best way I can explain it. It's kind of funny how Hitsugaya gets no love, because he's constantly getting little bro by everyone. Like, in fights, he's usually like the first captain out, and I really like his power, like, but he's ice, so he really gets no love. Like, he really is like the little bro of the captains. And the fight is so entertaining to Kenpachi that he actually took off his eye patch. Like, he's thrilled right now, but he's also on the brink of dying. So the fight continues between Kenpachi and the Quincy is just overpowering him at this point, and Kenpachi is just laid out on the floor. And then our little hero, Yachiro, appears and just tells him like, hey, Kenchan, what are you doing laying down? Come on, we still got people to cut down. And he's just like, wait, where did you go? And she was like, well, I've always been here. And she was like, Kenpachi, you've always been clueless. You're not using me properly. And if you use me properly, then there's no one that you won't be able to cut down. And he's like, what are you talking about? How did you? Then we just hear that magic word, Bankai. So I'm excited for the next chapter. I cannot wait, because I really don't know what his Bankai can be. Maybe it's a giant mega scythe-ish sword-like thing. I don't know what to expect. It's Kenpachi. It could literally be anything. I want to know, what do you guys think Kenpachi's Bankai is going to be? Do you think it's going to be like super OP? Do you think he's going to one-shot the Quincy afterwards? Give me some predictions on what you think his move set or skill set would be exactly. And did you guys expect that it would be Yachiro? Was I not the only one that saw that coming? That's all I got for today, guys. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And, you know, tell your friends about us. Take care.